Bottom of the box, face shield mask. Don't even bother taking that sucker out. We have the instruction manual. Little quick setup guide. Hammer / wire brush. Looks like this is probably for the face shield. You kind of hold it up. Does nothing. Face shield that you get, like I said, we're not going to use that. One extra tip, some hardware, which I'm assuming is for the handle. I'm going to guess 0.030 shielded wire. Boom, I guessed it right. Wire feed will be next. Wanted to touch on just a couple of things before we got there. There is a little sticker on here that says you need a 20 amp breaker. That is true. I have a couple 15 amp breakers in my garage, and yes, you will trip the breaker if you max out your settings. Speaking of settings, you really do only have a couple settings here. You've got your wire speed, on off, and a min and max. Now there's good and bad to that. The good, it's simple. You only have a couple things to choose from. The bad, you've only got a couple things to choose from. This is just a flux-cored gun. And I say that because if you take off the nozzle, which you could take off, throw away. If you're just starting out flux-cored welding, you don't need that nozzle. First of all, if this were a true MIG gun, there would be holes right here for your MIG gas to go out, and the nozzle directs that gas into your weld to protect it. We don't have that, so you don't need it. They have flux-cored nozzles. I don't know why they don't include it with this. Well, I'll show you one. This is a flux-cored nozzle. They come with the titaniums, and this is, I'm pretty sure, cheaper than that little metal. So I'm curious if it, oh my goodness, look at that. Fits right over it. So, like I said, it doesn't come with this, comes with that, toss it. So we're gonna take off the tip, just put that aside. Heck, we're ready to put some wire in here and fire this sucker up. There definitely are some tricks here to putting on the wire. So first of all, if you forget, there is a nice little diagram right there, but I am going to first place the wire. And like I said, if you forget which, little piece goes on next, there is a little diagram on there. My first trick is actually we're going to tighten this down quite a bit so there's a lot of resistance on that spool. The next trick would be, when you take this off, do not let go of it. We're going to snip off the end, maybe. And we want to do that because, as you can tell, there's a little kink in there. You don't want that trying to go through your sheathing of the MIG gun. Next, we're going to undo the tensioner and expose the rollers. And we are just going to play operation here. Slowly thread that through. It is nice, they do give you a knurled wheel roller. So it's meant for flux core. Simple as that. As soon as you get it through the sheathing, then you can close that, clamp that down, and you're set. You can let go. Now if you remember, we tightened this down. So we want to loosen that just a little bit because you don't want to have this be bogging up the wire feed system. So loosen that, I don't know how much. You loosen it so there's a little play in there. That's all I can give you. Let's turn on the machine and we are going to crank this up all the way just so then you're not sitting there forever. Straighten out the hose as straight as you can and wait until the wire comes out the other end. Bingo. And for good old safety sakes, we are going to turn it off. Let's thread our tip back on and just give that a little squeeze, trim it up. We're ready to throw down some weld now. Wait. Before we get that, you noticed I have a couple things here, and that's because at the beginning I told you to just keep that worthless little face mask in the box because you won't want it. Trust me, if you are just starting out welding, then you do not want to have to be holding a little face mask and trying to weld. Really, that's probably half the problems that welders have as they're beginning. So pick up an auto darkening helmet. Doesn't have to be this one, it can be whatever one. Amazon has a bunch of them, and some gloves. but I mean, in reality, Harbor Freight sells these like a 3-pack for 10 bucks. Just know it. I mean, throw this in, throw a helmet in, and then you'll be golden, ready to go. So right now I've got 3/16. So I've got it at max and looks like about 9 to 10. So this is really maxing it out. Let's go for it. All right, now for the last weld, I'm gonna keep 2 points of contact. In other words, I've got my hand up here and my arm down here for stability. I'm gonna try to keep my speed consistent, and I'm gonna go back to the back and forth motion, not my zigzag motion. And let's finish this guy out. I'm going to do a quick pass with my wire brush and we'll meet right back here. And there you have it, one of the cheapest welders on the market, throwing down some what I would consider not too bad flux-cored welds. Does it have all the functionality of a $1,500 miller? Nope, but you paid 150 bucks for this, so no complaints on that end. Now, my real thought on, would I go out and buy this if it were brand new? And I'm gonna tell you, no, I would not. First of all, there's a lot of these around. This thing has been on the market for about 10 years now, ever since they kicked it up from that old Chicago blue. That means I can go onto my classified ads and there's a whole bunch of them on there right now. So would I pick this up used? You bet I would. But if I were to go out and buy a brand new welder from Harbor Freight, I would most likely pick up the Titanium 125. We're not gonna get into a comparison video here, so there you have it. There's my thoughts. Go pick this thing up used, you'll be happy, can throw down some decent welds and get those weekend projects done. And if you have to get something, go with the Titanium 125. Thanks for watching, see you next time.